All right, well, we're going to get this call started. Let me lock it down. All right, hey, this is Ron Gold calling in from Dallas, Texas. Welcome to our Friday morning Go Diamond Daily focus call. And this is going to be an incredible day as we close out the cycle and we close out the period. It has just been an absolute rocking period with our X Factor promotion. I'm sure everybody knows, everybody's part of that excitement, and we've just got so many great things in store over the next couple of periods leading up to the convention in October in Salt Lake City. By the way, just a quick reminder, on August 1st, the rates of the tickets for the convention will go up, so we want to make sure everyone is in your organizations. Our organizations are registered and all set to go to the convention. Today is as I probably say every Friday on the Go Diamond Daily Focus Call, it's my favorite day of the week of the cycle, and that's the day that we're closing it out. We're helping people get larger checks, advanced pin ranks, watching the organization explode. And you can, pay. I know for most people, you can watch on the computer volume, the biggest volume day of the cycle, and the last day being today, probably the biggest volume day of the entire period, as people are trying to take advantage of the X Factor promotion in particular this period. I know that we're going to announce some major additions or how we're going to move forward from the X Factor promotion for the next two periods leading into the corporate convention. The company is focused on doing everything possible, giving everyone all the tools, the incentives to build their businesses here through the summer leading up to convention, so we can have a record-setting convention and number of attendees. It is going to be an exceptional event. Now, where I really wanted to focus today is a couple of things, two in particular. But one is, as we're building our organizations and they begin to grow, it's simple when we get started, right? Our focus is one, and it's simple. We've got to get our team started. We're out there. We're talking to everybody we know. We're sponsoring. And if we're doing things properly, then we're going to sponsor probably as many people in the first 30, 60 days as we will in any period throughout our careers in this industry, in Zage International, to identify those people that are serious, those that want to focus. And we're looking for those always people. Always do what they say they're going to do. We're looking for people that have goals. There's something that they want to accomplish. They're willing to let us know what those goals are. But even more important, not just dreaming of what they want, they're into the action, the steps, the activities that are going to make those goals, that will help them achieve the goals that they had set forth. I'm sure we've all enrolled people in our businesses, and we hear all kinds of great things and things they want to accomplish and what they're going to do. But curiously enough, they don't ever get into action. And that's just human nature. That's going to happen. That's going to happen in anything. How many people make commitments to work out, to go to the gym, and just, maybe get a day or two in, and then all of a sudden all these excuses and things come up, and they just fall away, and all of a sudden I guess the goal wasn't all that important to them. And as we build our groups and they get larger and larger, we want to make sure that we're getting duplication. We talk about that all the time. We want to duplicate what we're doing, the success that we're having, the success that our upline is having. And it's really simple. If we do those things that successful people do, then it's pretty simple. We'll get what successful people get. And especially right now where we are with the company and where we are here just from a time standpoint or a calendar standpoint, with the X Factor promotion this period and what's going to be announced on the Power Hour call next Tuesday for the next period going forward as we build on the X Factor promotion. We really need to focus back like it was in the beginning. So promotions, and not just for ourselves, which of course is important, but also to help our organizations, help those people that have gotten involved in our business, that do have those goals, that want to accomplish those goals, who want to get in the zone quickly, want to start building quickly. You know, it's funny how just a little check, a check, right? A check, a commission check. It's amazing what that'll do for the psychologically for someone when they see it actually work. They actually get paid for what they're doing. And now, with the X-Fact promotion that ends today, being able to double, triple, quadruple their FOB bonuses, they can get a very meaningful check. And I know a lot of people will say, you know, well, I really can't get moving too quick, or I can't talk to this person until I get a check, or until I'm making money, Well, you know, I'll ask them, well, how much is that? How much do you need to make before you think somebody will pay attention? And oftentimes the number's fairly high, and it's like, you know, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? How are you going to get that check unless we start, you know, contacting and talking to those people? And it's, you know, our first 30 days is so important. We talk about creating a story, a 30, 60, 90-day story that we can tell people. And I know this about successful people. If they see it, the check doesn't have to be big at all. Just any check, any commission payment is enough to say that it works. And our first 30 days, we're in such a great position because really nobody would expect anything, right, or anything huge, because we just get started. And now time goes by, all of a sudden we're not making the kind of money that we think we should be making, or other people think we should be making, because perhaps we're still waiting for the check to come before we get working. But successful people know if you can get a check, whatever that is, you can get another one, and it can get larger, and it can get larger. It's just the fact that it works, that this business indeed works. So it is important that as we enroll people, especially with the X Factor promotion, just get a check, and now you can have even a more meaningful check, so that when somebody asks you, does it work, say, well, I've got a check. My first week in the business. Oftentimes, really, that's all that's necessary. I don't care the amount of that check. And so the first point is, this is a time right now to take advantage of the company's growth, and it's wonderful when we hear all the records that are being set with enrollments, the number of enrollments every period, with the volume that the company is achieving at a record volume every period. You know, all those things are wonderful and they're great, but what does that have to do with us if we're just sitting on the sideline? So there's only two things that we do in our business. We sponsor and we teach. We sponsor people, and then we teach them to do the very same thing. Now, there are many other things that one would learn as we go through the business, but the first focus is simply to sponsor people and teach them how to do the same thing. And if everybody is working hard, they're sponsoring, the checks are coming, everything else will become self-evident. So we must focus, especially throughout these periods of this, you know, closing out this period with the X Factor, making sure, do you know who in your organization, who has sponsored people, and who's helping them get there too, so they can achieve those double, triple, quadruple promotions. And again, teaching them to do the same thing. And it's amazing how momentum can take root in an organization very, very quickly. But that's only going to happen, especially in young organizations, or even if we've been around for a while, we've got larger organizations. How do we get a new leg developed? We want it, just like when we started, we're focusing on enrollment tree legs. So getting a new person started, sponsored by us, starting a new enrollment tree leg, same thing. We want to create momentum within that leg, which also is a part of our larger organization. And it's amazing when we are into action, when we're doing those things that we're teaching people to do, what that can mean to an entire organization. I'll give you for instance, which has happened here in Texas, in Dallas in particular. I oftentimes don't like doing sports analogies because not everyone is into sports, and certainly a specific or particular sport. This really is all about teamwork. It's about momentum. It's about morale. It's about attitude. It's about hope, and that is here with the baseball baseball team, the Texas Rangers, our pitching staff has just been devastated by injuries. In baseball, there's typically 4 or 5 starting pitchers, and we, through injuries, lost 4 of our 5 top pitchers. So we had a lot of rookies pitching in, doing the best they could, but they're new. They've got to learn, and they're kind of thrown into the fire, doing the best that they could. But we went from 10 games in first place, and now we're 3 behind, 3 games in second place. So that's a big fall. Not that anybody didn't do their best, weren't trying 100%, but it gets discouraging when you lose ball games because just the opponent outscores you because you have a lack of pitching. Well, the company made a trade to bring in a starting pitcher, probably one of the top in baseball. All that said, it's amazing. It's just one person with history, with a track record that we know, the team knows is very, very good. And it's interesting what happened to the entire team. All of a sudden, there's that hope. Now we've got a pitcher that we know can win games, replacing a rookie, and the attitude of the entire team was elevated to the highest levels. All of a sudden, everybody started hitting better. Everybody had a pep in their step. Everybody had that hope. Okay, we can get back to where we were. We don't have to, as certainly as professionals in any sport or any business, we know we need to keep positive, and we have to have that hope and expect the best and do the best we can every single day. We know that, but after a while, it does wear on you and get discouraging. But isn't that the same here with us? If there aren't new people coming into our business, doesn't that again get a little bit discouraging? It's week after week, it's the same people, we've got auto shifts, but there's no spark plug, there's no spark, there's no fire, there's no new energy for us, but also for our team. And what's great, what we do here in our business, and Zeke in particular with our binary compensation plan, it's amazing how one new person that comes into our business and lights it up, it's amazing what that does, not only for our attitude, because isn't that what we're looking for? I mean, isn't there not a better feeling in the world in our business than to sponsor somebody new, somebody that comes in and they have a little bit of influence, they certainly have some money, they can get a good starter package, a builder 1, a builder 2. They're, I guess, a little bit more mature in the sense that they do have goals, they do understand principles of success, perhaps they even understand personal development in some way. Doesn't that just it gets me excited. I don't know about you, but it gets me excited. There's just not a better feeling in the world. And what also will happen is when that person is placed in the business, right at the bottom of the leg, if there's people above them, and when that person takes off, doesn't that lift everyone? When they start to see new volume coming in and volume growing in their one leg, don't you think that gets them excited? Gives them even more of a reason, a sense of urgency, a sense of loss that, I've got to get my other side started too, and now I'm making money. And it does work. It's proof, it's evidence that it does work. If this person can do it, there are more people out there that can. So we've got to focus on those, on that principle of sponsorship, of new blood in our business. And that's what these promotions are for. It's giving that new person, giving us a tool, something that we can present to that new person. It's not just business as usual, although business as usual is fantastic. Business as usual has people making tens of thousands of dollars a month, a week, 7 figures annually. That's business as usual. But that business as usual at those levels always have been kick-started or re-energized, organizations re-energized through promotions, through the opportunity for people to earn even more income, build pins even faster because there's more money involved. And so what we want want to do to make sure is be that example. Are we enrolling new people? Are we in the game? Are we energizing our organization? We don't. The last thing we want to do is wait for somebody in our upline to place somebody in our downline, right? We want to be that catalyst. That's my attitude. I want to be that catalyst, and I can control that. I can't control what my upline does. You know, David Moses has, I don't know how many enrollments, re-entry positions and everything else he's got going. You know, I don't expect anything. If it is to be, it's up to me. So that's my attitude. It should be all of our attitude. Anything else that happens would be gravy. So we must focus with these promotions to re-energize or energize our organization. And oftentimes, the way I look at it, sometimes instead of re-energizing a whole organization, it's building a new enrollment tree leg, which will re-energize myself and certainly will re-energize anybody that is a part of that leg itself. Now, once we have those people in, we're going to teach them some very, very simple things. Where the one thing, the most important thing is teach them how to plug in, help them understand where the resources are, help them understand the simple invitation, presentation, validation, the simple peek and pass process, so that they can get their prospects online with us and let us explain, let us transfer that excitement and that energy regarding ZJ International in our organizations to them. Now, I'm sure, all have organizations at some level, whether it's a few people or quite a few people. Again, I break everything down to enrollment tree legs, even though they're all in two legs. Everyone that one personally enrolls it starts an enrollment tree leg. And that's what I'm focused on, helping someone build an enrollment tree leg, working together to build that leg and help them obviously get chicks quickly, everything we just talked about. One of the things that I found in my career to be most helpful, a tip, two words that really will help us manage or organize or get our arms around what's happening within our businesses and our enrollment tree legs. It's called spot check, and that is constantly checking down into the organization as the leg grows deeper and deeper, to make sure people are plugged in, to make sure that those people that want this business and are doing everything they can to build this business are doing the correct activities correctly. And spot checking is a great way to do that. So, I know when I first got involved, and I know many people when they first get involved, it does make sense logically in that I enroll somebody, you enroll somebody in the business, and now they are in charge of their organization. We assume they know much more than they know, and I always just reflect back to my first day in the business. What did I know? I'm an intelligent guy, had my own business, successful in my own right, but when I first got started in this industry, day one, I didn't know anything. I had dreams, I had hopes, but and I was in action, but I really didn't know what I was doing. I thought I did, but I really, really didn't. And I did the best I could, trying to figure things out. Didn't have a good system. Just did the best I could. Did all right. Was able to go full time just through hard work, white knuckle effort, enrolling, traveling, doing what I could. Although I didn't really. Now I look back, I really didn't know how to pull a team together. We didn't really have. I wasn't taught philosophies on how to pull massive organizations together. Our agency had 20 employees. That's one thing, and they're getting paid, so they typically do what you say, because if they don't, they're not going to be around long. But when we're dealing with a volunteer army, that's not just 20. It's 40. It's 100. It's 1,000. It's 10,000 people, all building their own businesses and can do what they want to do. You can't fire them. It's a whole different philosophy. It's a whole different situation, dynamic. So what I discovered and was taught when I got my first mentor and helped me understand was all about that mentorship, people that knew what they were doing. It was all about not only the activity, but being on purpose all the time. Everything that I did was on purpose. It was for a reason. It wasn't a try, see if this works, see if that works, hope, wish, guess. It was very specific. Success does not happen by accident. And one of the things that I was taught was spot checking. As we're building a team and it's going deep, checking as I'm talking to people, and this is a perfect, see, Freedom Fridays are this perfect opportunity. Number one, as we look at our enrollment tree legs, we're looking for a locker, right? A locker. That's one person that will lock down a leg, that they're going to be here whether we're here or not. They have that attitude, if it is to be, it's up to me. Hopefully they're plugging in and they're working together as a team, and that's part of the definition of a locker, by the way. But we're looking for that person, and it doesn't have to be the person that we enroll. See, logically, it just makes sense. I enroll somebody, and now they're building their business, but we all probably have had people that, said all these great things and really didn't do anything, but they've introduced people, they've sponsored people who have sponsored people, and there's people in the leg. But we can't expect that person. It's not, digital. This person teaches that one and that one teaches that one. There's always breakdowns. People aren't plugged in. They're not passing on, the information, technical information, but also the success information, the system information, the intangibles that make all the difference in the world. You often say I could teach somebody probably in 60 days 90% of what they need to know to build this business, more from a technical comp plan standpoint, product standpoint, but it's that 10% that can take a lifetime. It's the 10% of intangibles that can take years and years to develop. I know that certainly was my case. I'm still learning. I still have not even touched anywhere close to that 10%. That's why I work with my sponsor, David Moses. He has certainly built much larger organizations than I, and why wouldn't I want to do what he does? I've got to be open enough to get that coaching and be coachable and teachable, which I try to pride myself in and try as hard as I can. We're looking for coachable entrepreneurs, and sometimes that's an oxymoron, but certainly I know how important that is. So spot checking is when you're talking to people, and we should be today, those people that are going for a new pin. Do they know? Maybe they're going for bronze. Do they understand what they need a Builder 500 and what that is? Have they identified who that person, that Builder 500, they need to go bronze, or if they need to hit gold? They want to be part of Team Benz. Do they know how to do that? So as we're spot check, as we're building down an organization, especially on Freedom Friday, I'm spot checking out, and that just simply means asking questions. Are you registered for the convention? That's a good question. There's many questions. Have you heard this, or you've seen that, or did you know about this? Did you know about that? And if they say yes, then it's all good. I know I'm getting good duplication down within that leg. If they say no, I know there's a breakdown somewhere. Somewhere there's a breakdown. And the deeper we're spot checking in our business, the better. And we're looking for that locker. Now, let's say we've got somebody, 4, 5, 10, 20 levels below, and we're working with them a little bit, and they certainly say the right things, they're doing the right things. That's somebody that perhaps we can work with. And now we ask a question, they don't know something. Well, we know there's a breakdown someplace, so then I'll go to the person, their sponsor, the person above, and I'll ask them that question, and if they get it right, well, I know they know it, but they don't know about teaching it. For some reason, I don't know if they think perhaps people should already know that because they know it, but unless we teach someone, how would they know that? So I'll teach them to teach. I may find that they don't know the answer to that question. Well, the breakdown's farther up, and I'll go upline again and ask that question until I find out where the gap is, where the breakdown is. And, right now, it's pretty simple. Registering for convention, reaching PIN levels, all those basic things that we're learning, plugging in, listening to conference calls, just little things. I know I was talking to one person, and they, been in the business for a while, and I got a couple of texts, yesterday, as a matter of fact. One was, are we open in this country, in this country, in this country? I go, wow. All you have to do is go to your computer and just go press enroll a new distributor, and you'll find all the flags of the countries that we're open in. How hard could that be? But, I know that, but obviously they don't know that. So, there's a breakdown someplace. I got a text. Are there any testimonials that people can hear? There's another one. Wow. David Moses has a sizzle call, one box dedicated to testimonials. There's testimonials in the media resources of our website. Now, this person didn't know it. I'm not going to fault this person. I'm going to go upline and find out, one, why the person is not communicating with their direct upline, which is fine that they can, I'm always open to helping people, but that's simple stuff. The larger pin you get, the more, people you have in your organization, it's hard to find the time to teach those basic things. That's what upline should be doing, if they know about it. If they don't know about it, well, then it's a different story. That's my responsibility, is to help people understand and then understand how to teach it. So spot checking is such a great tool that you can use to make sure your group is duplicating as deep as possible. Do people know spot checking on Freedom Friday? Do they know about the massive tours that are beginning to happen for the next 2 periods leading up to convention, with the corporate tour, Race to Summit? Hazel Harry, who is amazing, plugged in and understands, she announced the one that was going to be in Atlanta, where a corporate comes into a market and, along with the distributors, of course, to help fuel fire into that and energy into that market. Do people know about that? Do they know about godiamondjuly26.com? One of the questions, spot checking. Hey, is there any meetings going on in your city? Well, I don't know. How do I know? Where do I find out? Well, we got to teach them about godiamondjuly26.com. So they're always constantly looking what's going on in my particular market. And it's ludicrous to think that I'm going to be on or you with a large organization is going to, get on that every day, look at all the cities. Oh, I think I've got somebody in that city, and they call everybody. There's just not enough hours in the day. How in the world could we do the most important thing to build our teams and to energize our teams, which is sponsoring, if we're spending our time answering questions that people can get so easily if they're plugged into the system? So we've got to teach. That's something that we have to teach down. So spot checking is really what will help you drive a leg deep. Make sure that duplication is happening, to identify the person. So when I'm spot checking down in an organization, asking simple questions, basic questions, and I'm getting the right answers, I know that's a solid business. That's a solid leg. There's leadership in that leg of business. Now, again, I try not to make many outbound calls. I try not to make many outbound calls to distributors. The outbound calls that I make are for prospecting. They're three-way calls. They're calls to the people that I have in process, people that I'm putting in process. But I'm always taking calls from distributors that do need and want information. They want help. They want three-way calls, et cetera, et cetera. But I try not to just focus on people, call them. Why aren't they working? Why aren't they, having three ways, prospecting so they have three ways? Don't have time to do that. I'm searching like a detective for a locker. Who in a leg can I lock arms with and drive deep, deep, deep? And believe me, just like if you had to burn a house down, would you light the fire in the basement, on the roof? Well, of course, you'd light a fire in the basement. The fire is going to burn up. And that's what we're doing to build legs. So Freedom Friday is just an incredible day for many reasons. Those people that we are working with personally, we can help them achieve new ranks, get larger checks, but we can also work, as we're working down in three ways and lifeline calls, we can identify those people that have potential, could be a potential locker, spot checking to make sure that they're plugged in, they have the resources and the help that they need. If not, if they're the right person, we can lock arms with them and we'll start a fire at the bottom of a leg that'll burn all the way up. So with that, I know we're at the bottom of the hour. If we have anybody on the speaker line with any other announcements, ones that haven't been made and we've got on the line, love to hear it, and then we'll close out the call. All right. Well, if you're a freedom fighter, fighting for financial independence, financial freedom, you're focused and dedicated to help those in your organization achieve that financial freedom, financial independence. Let's hear it as we get off the line. Let's have a tremendous close. Everyone, let's focus today till the bell closes at 12 midnight Mountain Time, doing everything in our power to help those people that want what we have achieve their success, move one step forward. Don't forget, next Tuesday night, spot check. Do people know about the Power Hour call the first Tuesday of every period? Do they have the phone number? Are they building for that with anyone and everyone on their team as well as guests, so we can hear the new promotion that'll run for the next 2 periods? I can promise you will be excited. There's big money. The company's pulled out all stops. So if you're a freedom fighter, let's hear it as we get off the line. The lines are open. Virginia, freedom fighter. Freedom fighter.